And we are live. Guys, welcome to tonight's Chalkboard sessions. This is Jason Brown, 25 years old, only for the next 48 hours, out of New Jersey. Super excited to be back for yet another amazing Chalkboard sessions. And this one I'm real excited about. You know, we've had over the course of the last 6 previous episodes, this is episode 7, started off as a idea that I wanted to bring a, branded training to my team within my business. Then I said, you know what, I'm going to bring this to the company that I'm with and train the people in the company. And then I said, wait a minute, what if we can offer a simple Q&A, hour-long session for network marketing or business professionals, offer things that, they may not get on a day-to-day basis, but not charge anything for it. So as you guys know, this is a 100%, no recruiting zone. We're not going to talk about companies, products, anything like that. What we are going to do is share, for the next half hour, some Q&As with you, and then open up the floor. We want some really good questions from you guys. You guys out there, all the viewers, I see everybody out there. What's up, Allison? We got Justin Paletti, JC, Adam, Najim, John. I mean, tons of great people on here. Guys, we want the second half of this to really come alive for you. And we want to answer some questions. I have with me tonight somebody I'm so excited to be affiliated with in business to begin with. I got to meet this gentleman just a few, actually probably 6 months ago now. We do work in the same business, and though we are not working directly side by side, we are running the same marathon for sure. I have so much respect, especially after seeing this guy train live, just the way he controls a room, but also the amount of knowledge and experience that this guy brings to the table. It's an absolute honor to introduce to you guys Mr. Todd Young. He is a 25-year veteran of the network marketing industry, also a extremely successful entrepreneur across the board, multiple business owner. I haven't met very many people who dominate and do so well online than Mr. Todd Young. And most of you guys on this call do know him. If you do not, you're going to really fall in love with this guy by the end of this. And without any further ado, I just want to give it over to you, Todd. Appreciate you taking some time on your Wednesday night. I know you got a newborn baby back there, and you got a lot of stuff on your plate. So I do appreciate you, man, and welcome.
Jason, I appreciate you too, buddy. And I want to start out by saying and throw it back at you. And thanks for having me on here tonight with everybody. And you're a big leader in our company, and great working with you, man. I tell you, I've really enjoyed working with you and your team. And your team is smoking it. And your team actually is one of the fastest moving teams in the company. So it's really an honor to be here with you tonight.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. And it's when you get around the right, this too, Todd. When you get around the right people in life and your energies push each other's energies to that next level, it's just easy to work, and I was talking to somebody earlier today, and they're like, this is the most fun work I've ever done. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of the definition of network marketing. Work plus fun equals, what we do. So I appreciate you giving it back. We have had a ton of success just keeping it simple and caring about others. And that's the formula for success, my man, which is why we're here tonight, sharing this with everybody. So Todd, you are an extremely successful business owner, entrepreneur, and a leader. I've for a couple really good questions, background, so the audience can get to know you. Tell us what got you excited about becoming an entrepreneur. When did you decide that, hey, this is what I want to do as a profession?
I was about 12. True story. I was about 12 years old, and I had a father. He passed away a couple of years ago, but he was a really brilliant entrepreneur, former military man. And just quite frankly, my father employed people all over the United States. And, I saw his lifestyle. I mean, we went out on vacations a lot. My father was from Florida, South Florida, and pretty much every other month we were going on vacation. And every other month, I was taking this note. You had to write notes to school and saying, my son's going out of town. He's going to be out of school for like a week and a half. Yep. And the principal, I remember one time, the principal called me to the office. I was 12 years old. This is no joke. I'm in the 6th grade. And the principal says, son, this is like your 3rd vacation. And this is only like, March. And I said, well, my parents, they vacation a lot. And the principal actually even asked me, how does your father do that? I said, well, he owns his own business. He's an entrepreneur. And so I always knew at a very young age, that I was going to be an entrepreneur, and I started out in sales, which is, when you're, a good sales professional, the world's your oyster. And so, salespeople are entrepreneurs, and entrepreneurs also run, that sales department of their own business. And whether you outsource it or not, that's just a part of your business. So I knew at a really early age that I was going to be a business owner. I knew what I wanted to do, and I worked on myself, and I continue to do that to be a better entrepreneur, to be a better person out in the marketplace, to give good value, and to be more wise as the years go on. So I don't wish for more money. I wish for more wisdom.
And that's amazing that you said that, Todd, because that, your story, 12 years, when you said 12 years old, I was like, wow, and it's kind of funny because my mom tells me all the time, when I was in second grade, and I remember this, this was a conscious hustle. My mom tells me all the time, she's and I hear her telling her friends, he's been an entrepreneur forever, and probably right around 12. So I guess that's cool that we share that. I recorded Pokemon was huge when I was in second grade, and this episode came on. It was like a rare episode. I remember I recorded it onto a VHS. This is how old school, right? VHSs were still in. Right. And I remember recording the VHS, and I brought it to school to sell it. And I actually think I was renting it out. So I'm right there with you that entrepreneur, career started a long time ago, and it's all just about, sales and influence, just like you said. And that all ties in with, being an entrepreneur. So yeah, that's amazing. What led you, so the one thing that you said that really stood out to me and it'll resonate, and I hear this all the time. And when you look at successful people, they all kind of carry this one trait. They've come to the realization that they are always going to be a student of the game. And this may end up being one of the biggest takeaways for everybody on tonight's training is that, no matter where you're at in your career, you are extremely successful. But no matter where you're at, you've got to be willing to accept the fact that you are a student. Even when you're considered a top leader, a leader in your field, a leader in your, expertise, you are a student of the game. And that is so important. So I think this is good, not exactly on the topic, but it will lead to that. What are some of your practices for personal development? What do you do, on a day-to-day basis to work on Todd Young? I knew it. I knew you were going to reach for it. I'm right there with you, brother.
Hold on a second.
Think and grow rich, ladies and gentlemen.
Just so you all know, that's a great question. And I'll just continue out here and show you a guide to confident living. Let me see here. Take charge of your mind. Fast track. Getting started training to ensure success in network marketing. Making the first circle work. The Millionaire Next Door. And I didn't even know you were going to ask these questions. These are, okay. Napoleon Hill's Grow Rich with Peace of Mind. I'm not even going to show you that book. I'm not going to show you that book, but I will show you this one. Thick Face, Black Heart. It's a Think and Grow Rich book of the 90s. Secrets of the Millionaire Mindset. By the way, I've got another 50 books that I've read over the past couple of years that I could show you, but I don't want to take all the time up. So I read. Leaders are readers. Entrepreneurs are readers. I had to read. I really did. I had a 1.5 GPA in high school. I was not book smart. I was street smart. I was savvy. I sold candy in school from the 6th grade on. We used to stop at the high store, which is like a 7-Eleven, and I'd buy, $10 worth of candy, no joke, and I'd turn it into $20, and I ate a little bit of my profit, like some people do. And, and then that's what got me to 285 pounds. I'm down to 235, by the way, now. So anyway, I'm going to love my candy. I know you lost the weight too, but I'm on my way, brother. But, I always had that mindset, though, of selling, of doing more, being more, and making myself better, even back in those days. And in those days, I was an athlete and a full-time athlete. Literally, I played baseball 365 days a year. I went to baseball camp 3 months out of the year. Up in Massachusetts, and I was actually trained by the Boston Red Sox baseball organization as a kid. And I played with guys that were 19, 20, and 21 years old, and I was 13, 14, 15, 16. So I knew the importance of coaching. I knew the importance of discipline. I knew the importance of teamwork. I knew the importance of not giving up, of being persistent, always practicing your craft. The importance of mentoring and coach, all that. I mean, all that was instilled in me in a very young age. And I brought that into my entrepreneurial career when I got into my 20s and up until this day. And being students of the game, we call ourselves practitioners because we're always practicing our crafts. And that is a word that we use in the Think and Grow Rich call. And I'm a practitioner of that book as well. I study that book. These books, I don't just read these books, by the way, I study them and I turn them into workbooks. And so I read them over and over again because every time you read the book, you see something different because we're growing. You can't see, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what's in the dark room until you turn the light switch on. And so when people say things that are out of context with our industry, like, is that multi-level marketing or, for whatever maybe reason or excuse they might throw at you because they don't want to join your business, it comes out of just not knowing. That's really what it is. They don't know what they don't know, but when you enlighten them and educate them, it's like turning the light switch on and all of a sudden they go, wow, oh, I didn't know that, right? So when you grow in business, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. See, the higher confidence level goes up through reading, personal development, being more wise, being a better person. You attract people from the universe to you, which raises your income. And when you raise your income, you get more excited. And when you get more excited, you attract more people to your business through high vibration. So guess what? Your confidence goes up. And when your confidence goes up, more people get attracted to you in your business and your income goes up. And when your income goes up, guess what happens? You get more confident. And when you get more confident, guess what happens? You attract more people from the universe, your income goes up, and that'll happen to you continue throughout your life.
Ain't that the truth? And the reason why I asked that question is I knew that you would have some colorful, amazing response. And it really does lead in to exactly where this chalkboard is going, because, this is kind of a trick theme or a trick title, if you will, for the webinar is how to, so many people, Todd, you probably get this all the time, right? How do I close? I cannot close the deal. You deal with it all the time. I deal with it all the time. And, I always say, well, here's the deal. You stop closing. Because I've noticed that the better that I've gotten, the more due diligence, the more that I've studied, the more that I know, the more confident I am. And the more confident you are, the more confident people are to follow you.
Right.
So that's why I asked you the question about personal development.
Yes.
You're one of the most personally developed people I know. And I knew that watching you present.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I watched that. I watched you present in Maryland. Probably 3 or 4 months ago. And watching you present off the top of your head, no notes, nothing, threw down one of the best presentations I've ever seen. So kudos to you. But that's a great bridge question to the theme of this. So let's talk about converting the sale. How do you, in a network marketing or in a business that's built solely upon relationships, okay, let's reverse and let's go to the first step. Let's talk about peaking. What is the most effective, the most professional, and the most duplicatable way to take somebody who knows nothing about an opportunity, maybe even about network marketing, and pique their interest to go to that next step?
That's an awesome question. And it's also, with that question is important for new people and people that have been around long to know this. And that is that whatever you say and whatever you do with your new prospect is certainly going to determine whether they get into your business or not. People are not buying your company. They're not buying your product. They're buying you. And they're saying to themselves, number one, is this easy? Can I do it? And does it work? And do I want to work with Jason? That's it. And if you have, I remember when I first got into this business, I'll tell a real quick story. When I first got into this business in 1990, I went to an opportunity. I got dragged to an opportunity meeting, and I was in sales. I was a high commission salesperson from the age of 21 years old to the age of 27 and 28 years old, which in 1990, I was 28. And I'm not kidding you. I walked to this hotel room and I was like, what is this? My friend wanted me to come to this. And I'm not kidding you. I was the guy in the back, Mr. Ego, right? Back of the room going, what is this? Right? I didn't hear a word of the presentation for 30 minutes. I didn't hear a word. I was looking around at everybody going, who's that? Who's that? Who's that? And then people in the audience, little did I know, 3/4 of the audience, they were already in the company, but I had no idea. And there were new people there. And then about 30 minutes into the presentation, all these people started walking up on stage and they started telling their 2-minute testimonial. Some of them were like 15 seconds, 20 seconds. Hi, my name's Steve. I got started in the business 7 months ago. I'm making 15 grand a month. Somebody else would come up on stage. My name's, Julie. I've been with the company for 1.5 years. I've made $1 million, and just all these stories started coming up. And guess what? I heard all that. I heard all the stories. I didn't pay attention to any of the facts. I didn't even know what the products were. I had no idea who owned the company. I had no idea about anything, but I'll tell you what, I heard those stories. You know what? You open up the Bible. What's the Bible? The Bible's another bunch of stories, right?
Yes, sir.
We tell stories in our business. It's all we do. You got to be a good storyteller, because that's what got me into the business. There was a girl, I'm telling you, this is a true story. The girl that walked across the stage that got this guy into the business was in her early 20s, had been in the company for about 3.5, I guess maybe 3 years. And she walked across the stage and she had pigtails. And she's like, yeah, I used to be a bartender, and last month, and I really didn't work over the summer because my mom has emphysema and my mom's not doing well. And, the last time I was in an office was like 3 months ago, and my check last month was $17,900. Now, this guy had been busting his rear end in sales to make a good income, but I wasn't making that. That made me wake up. And I paid attention to that because I was like, wow, hold on a second. If she can do it, I can do it. So the presentation really didn't educate me, it motivated me. And so, there's a lesson there. You're not here to educate people, you're here to motivate them. And what I mean by that is you got to motivate them to make a decision to move to the next step. That's escalation. So what you're doing when you first meet somebody, back to your original question, is that you have to say something that's simple. You have to say something that's short, and you have to let people know that you're busy and you don't have much time to talk to them. Hey, Jason, hey, listen, I know, let's pretend like you and I have known each other for years. And I call you on the phone. Hey, Jason, how's it going, bud? Hey, listen, man, I'm really sorry. I want to apologize for calling you so late. But, man, I just found something that is so exciting. I can't even explain it. I'm sorry. Even if you asked me questions, I couldn't answer you. Hey, but can you do me a favor? Can you take a look at something that I saw about 1.5 hours ago that has me so excited, I don't think I'm going to sleep tonight. Hey, listen, I'm going to send it to you right now, and I'm going to call you in about 1/2 hour, okay?
Yeah, sounds great, Todd.
Okay, fantastic. See you later. I got to go. I'm too excited. I got to go watch the rest of this. Hey, I'm going to send it to your email right now. Goodbye. Click. How long did that take? 7 seconds?
30 seconds.
And that's all you do. But what does everybody else do? Okay, here's this of a really important saying in this business, and nobody should ever forget this. When you're brand new in this business, you think that you want to know everything and you want to say everything. But when you wind up getting trained, you learn that you don't want to say anything. When you're new, you want to say everything. But when you go through training, you learn you don't want to say anything. You want to pique interest by saying the shortest, what we call an elevator pitch, that you possibly can, that includes 0 facts. No facts. All emotional excitement. People don't do things based on facts. People move into action based on emotion out of fear of loss or gain. You see? And so that's important to keep your piquing interest short, simple, and easy, so that when they get into business, you can say to that person, say, hold on, because they're going to want to know everything, because that's what we're taught. When we go to school, you go to many, many years of school. Your parents, they tell you what to do. They tell you have to know things. You got to know all the facts. You got to know things. You got to be good on your testing. I didn't test well. You test me today, I actually test pretty well, but back then I didn't. I've watched too much Discovery Channel throughout the years. But I'm telling you that in the very beginning of your business, you just don't want to know anything. You want to use the tools. You can go back to somebody and say, hey, Jason, what got you into the business? The only thing I said to you was, I'm really excited. I can't sleep. You need to watch this video. See, if you turn into a salesperson, you lose. You have got to be a professional inviter. You've got to learn how to invite. You have to learn how to be a promoter. Who's the highest paid promoter in the world? Anybody know a guy named Don King? Ever heard of him?
I have, for sure.
Look him up online. Look him up online and read his Wikipedia. The guy's made hundreds of millions of dollars. Hundreds of millions. doing nothing more than promoting boxers. Telling you how great it is and come to this event, right? It's going to be exciting. Oh my God, pay-per-view. Yep, it's all excitement. My mentor taught me this. He said, there's 3 rules in this business. Get excited, and get excited. That's it. Because people are going to see your excitement. Your excitement is a high vibration, which transfers into inspiration. Inspire. It's a Latin term. Inspired. Put my inspiration into you. So that emotion goes over to you. Your low vibration gets raised to my vibrational level, which is an escalation process, and it moves you to the next step. That's, of course, when you go through your follow-up process after, I would call you up immediately. You set a second date. When you're done talking with somebody, piquing interest, you set a second date. Just like when you go out on a normal date. You don't, you go out on a date with somebody, you like them, you ask for a second date at the end of the date, don't you? Right? So, hey, Jason, when I call you back up, Jason, I'm going to call you back in an hour, and I'm going to call you up and go, Jason, holy cow, wasn't that the most amazing thing you've ever seen? Holy cow. Dude, we're going to make so much money. I can't wait to quit my job. I already wrote a date when I'm quitting my job. You're quitting your job on the same day as me, aren't you? Right?
Yes, sir.
Some people might say that that's not sales, but it is. You're piquing interest. Okay, you're inviting, you're promoting, and believe it or not, those are all forms of sales. So there is some, what I call network marketing lies. You'll hear so many people say, "Oh, this is not a sales business. It's you're inviting and promoting it." Hey, listen, sales is the art of persuasion. That's it. It's the art of persuasion. We all do it to each other every day. Spouses, husband, wives, brothers, sisters, daughters, teachers, bosses, dads, mom, we're always persuading somebody to do something, and there's always a winner and there's somebody that doesn't win. You see, somebody always gets persuaded. You're either selling somebody else or they're selling you on why they're not going to do it. And, number one, here's another thing too. The easier you make it for somebody to come into this business, the easier it is for them to leave. So when I know that somebody has a little bit of a degenerated interest, I slam my brakes on and then I reverse sell them. Hey, listen, you know what? Hey, Jason, wasn't that the most exciting thing you've ever seen? And then if you say to me, yeah, that was kind of okay. Kind of okay? Are you asleep? Now, of course, you're my friend, so I can say that to you. Are you sleeping, bro? Hey, you know what, bro? You know what my friend told me? My friend told me that some of my friends were going to be like that. Some of my friends said, my sponsor that got me in the business told me that, some people were going to be like that. You know what? I'm sorry this isn't for you. Hey, bro, listen, I'll see you on the softball field tomorrow night. I got to go, buddy. I got other people to call. See you later. Goodbye. Click. Click. Hang up. I don't care what you're saying. I'm hanging up on you. And if you're interested, you'll call me back. And if you don't think I don't do that, I do. Because the harder I make it for somebody to come into my business, the harder it is for them to leave. And I want good people in my business. You don't want to turn a 2 into a 10. It's impossible. That's a red apple, or I'm sorry, a rotten apple. All right. You want to get to at least a 5 or a 6 where you got a green apple and of course red apple. My mentor taught me that. Don't take a 2 and try and make them a 10. Filter, sift, and sort, and look for 6, 7s, and 8s and make them 10s. That's what you want to do. You want to have people with faith, brains, burning desire, an entrepreneurial spirit. Somebody that's sick and tired of being broke. When you get somebody with an ego that, and by the way, when you prospect people, if you do advertising and somebody answers your advertising, the odds are they're not doing well. And so, you want to be polite, don't bash somebody, be polite to somebody. Because when somebody says no to your opportunity, what they're telling you is a couple things. Number one, they're saying, no, not now. My job's great. I'm making 50 grand a year. Things are fine and I'm happy. Not only they're saying no, not now, what they're also saying is you haven't sold me. I don't see it. I don't see what you see, brother. I don't see it yet. You haven't told me enough I haven't talked to anybody. I mean, what is this? I saw a movie. I saw a couple links. I saw some products. I mean, what's it about? And so that's why somebody says no. Even in direct sales, when somebody says no, that's a cry for more information. People want to be sold. People want to be led. People also want to follow. Leaders follow, by the way. Just because you're a leader, leaders might be making 10 grand a month, but 10 grand a month leaders are following 30 grand a month leaders. And guess who the 30 grand a month leaders are following? That's right. And so Always keep the porch light on. Don't be rude to anybody. When you read Think and Grow Rich, you learn these things, okay? You learn that the 12 things that make people rich. Number one is positive mental attitude. The second thing is sound physical health. The third thing is harmony in human relations. You got to have a pleasing personality to people. If you're brash, you're rude, you come across like a salesperson, you're not going to do well in the business.
Agreed. And Todd,
don't get me started.
I'm gone. I already saw what happens. It's like the lawnmower, the first time you pull it, it's like, and then the second time when you pull it, it's like,
That's a good analogy.
I wasn't getting in your way, brother. But you know what I love? I want to go back and recap. I mean, I don't know, and no offense to any of the other guys who I did chalkboard sessions with. They were all great, but I don't know if I've ever taken so many notes. They're probably just your ripping information. But the one thing that you said that I love, because it's true, is stories sell. And the validation for everybody watching this was your word for word description of the girl on the stage who sold you and exactly what she said. That is living proof right there that stories are way more powerful than facts. You probably don't even remember how many people were in the company at the time, why they, maybe not even the ingredients in the products. You remember the girl with the pigtails whose mom had emphysema, blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
Stories are so powerful, and it's true. You look at a guy, one of our business partners, his name's Scott. His story and testimonial is so powerful that people's belief is inevitable. When you talk to him, it's inevitable. Stories are so, so powerful. That was huge. Also, the Don King thing was awesome too. Less is more. You talked about kind of the what's in it for me. That's what it is. It wasn't what got me into this industry was the same thing that got you in. And I feel like most of the A players, most of the people that will make a significant impact in the business, join the business based upon, I didn't even switch the camera, I don't know if the camera switched over, but they join the business based upon a what's in it for me. Because I was the same guy. I was I'm not going to home events. 6 months, I'm not going to a home event. I don't care. I got a $40,000 earner. I'm good on that. I'm cool. What got me in the business, what was results, a success story of somebody that I knew, and a what's in it for me. And I feel like for most people, I was in a dark room. Somebody turned the light on and I went, oh, this is network marketing. This is the business. I was lit. And I actually closed myself as you did. I feel like most of the really good people, and I tell people that I work with all the time, most of the good people that will join your business and stay make the decision for themselves. They close themselves, they get excited by themselves, and they make waves, ripple waves without anybody having to, giddy up. And you don't want to be that. How many giddy ups do we have? It happens. You need motivation to get to the gym, to this, to that, to this. So huge there. That'll segue to the next question that I had for you, which revolves around your energy, my energy, and the energy of all good leaders, salesmen, speakers, tonality. Okay, I studied personally Jordan Belfort, and for all the right reasons. Jordan Belfort is the best. I mean, there's guys out there now. When you look, I've done a bunch of different courses. Jordan Belfort and the psychology behind his training system is by far the best that I've seen, by far. And that took me to the next level. Daniel, I saw that comment, Daniel Torrey, and I was actually thinking of you as I was saying that, because that is true. But, Jordan Belfort, his tonality training is so huge. And when you did that mock invite, Todd, where you picked up the phone, your tonality went through the roof. So talk to everybody on the call, because, I know that this is such a key thing for me. And when you learned about it, which you obviously did, it's not a thing that you're like on the call and you're like, oh, my tonality's not good. But it's one of those things that you learn and it naturally occurs. You start speaking from a deeper part of your abdomen. You start, really projecting and throwing yourself. And it's like, even the guy on the webinar who's sleeping is like, hey, Jay, what are you doing? I'm like, yo.
That's it, right? It's energy. It's energy. It's vibration. That's it. He practices, he's a practitioner of NLP as well, obviously. And so, which you all can look into that in early weeks of programming. And, this business, business is a lot of psychology. Our business is 99% mental, 1% physical. And that 1% physical is the execution of what you learn mentally in this business. It really is. And when you have the proper mindset, there's nothing that you can't go out there and do. What the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve, which is the secret in Think and Grow Rich. And by the way, the Bible is a bunch of stories. This book is a bunch of stories. It's all it is. And so,
did we lose you? Uh-oh. Well, if we lost Todd for a second here, we've got him frozen with the Think and Grow Rich book. I believe that is what has happened. Guys, everybody out there, if you're on this right now, I don't know if we lost Todd or not. Can you guys just throw some comments up? Everybody throw some comments up. I want to know if you are excited about tonight's chalkboard session so far. We're about to get into the nitty gritty here. Probably going to be a little bit over an hour. If you're out there and you can hear me, please shout it out. I need to know if we're still rocking and rolling on this bad boy, and we'll get Todd back in here. Okay, so Gloria got it. Yes. Okay. Everybody, tell me if you're excited, and then I'm going to take over until we get Todd back. We will get Todd back. I promise, guys. I absolutely promise. You know, the one thing that we were talking about is tonality. It's, you know, taking yourself to another level. There, Todd's back. Maybe not. I lied. So, you know, the tone. Fired up. Good, good, good. Tonality is your energy through your voice. You know, when you talk to people and, you know, you're, hey, you know, listen, I just started this new project. You know, I'm really excited about it. We have this website, we have this system, I have this, you know, leader that you got to get on the call with. You know, I've got this, you know, all right, you may internally be excited, but externally, you're the monotone teacher that's been there at the same school for 30 years, and everybody's like, oh my God, you got this guy. You know, the monotone dude. Todd, are you back with us?
Sorry about that, dude.
All good, all good, all good.
You know, I was actually, I got backup computers, by the way, all over my freaking place. So
lesson learned: always be prepared.
Man, I got here. I'll show you real quick my little room here. I got computers there. I got computers over here. So my internet marketing business, I actually have I have my own server in my house, and I constantly am running software programming and
I love the office.
In my business. So.
The camera in the background, I got to see the forefront of the office. Guys, you can see that this man is not playing games. But Todd, when you jumped out real quick, I was just saying that, you know, tonality internally for us, we could be excited. And I think we see it a lot where people, you know, they've come into a business, they've made that decision. They are excited. They just don't know how to present that excitement. They may not feel as confident. And posture is another thing that I would love for you to talk about from your standpoint. So posture and tonality, but maybe their posture isn't correct. But what tonality revolves around is taking that energy that you feel inside and putting it on the outside. So that way people know that you are truly excited. You know, it's one of those things, hey, Todd, listen, man, we've been friends for a long time. I just started this new business. I've got, you know, the CEO who wants to get on the phone. I know you're a real successful business owner, and you know, we've got some good products. Or, hey, Todd, what's going on? Listen, I'm running out the door real quick. You are one of the most successful business owners that I know. You're a professional, and I know that you're open-minded. I know you look at opportunities, and if they make sense, you run. I got to tell you, I just saw something that makes so much sense, more sense than I can even make up right now. Don't have too much knowledge, but I met a guy who is the CEO of the company. He's brilliant. He's a professional, and you got to talk to this guy. Are you free in 15 minutes? You know, and it's taking that, you know, that internal and making it external. And you know what, guys? If you can master your excitement, like Todd just talked about, master, you know, your tonality and your delivery, you know, emphasize on the key things, then you know what? You make people feel like they're in a spotlight. You know, when I talk to people, I visualize the spotlight on them, you know, like they're on a stage, and I want to make this their show because it is their show. They're starting their business inside of your business. Todd,
absolutely, brother. Absolutely, brother. That's it. Did you ask me something? I missed that. You broke out for
and then I asked you, and then I went on a ramble. So, yeah, I was just saying, touch a little bit more where you finished off on tonality, and then also the next thing was really posture.
Yes. Yeah. You know, that's important because, again, people aren't buying your company. See, when you're presenting this business to other people, you have to remember the way that you were in the very beginning. It's like the people that get signed up in the business that you and I are in, they kind of forget what that pre-enrollee back office looks like, you know, and that's why you have to go back in there and look at it. But in our business, you have to remember, you know, what got you in. And it was excitement, right? And that's what tonality is. You don't talk to somebody like this real depressive and, you know, hey, I found, you know, you don't act like that. You know, that's a energy sucker. You know, it's like, you want to have an immense amount of energy because that's the excitement. And when you learn the power of the vibration, which is excitement, what you're doing is you're raising somebody else's vibration level up through your posturing. And posturing is again, a form of confidence. And people say, well, how do you get posture? Read personal development, read audiobooks. And there's a lot, you know, Jim Rohn, Errol Show. I mean, there's so many. There you go. How to Win Friends and Influence People. I mean,
this book, dude.
That's a massive. Dale Carnegie. I read that book like 25 years ago. I mean, or 23 years ago, whatever. And I've read that book about 25, 30 times.
I believe it.
Oh, yeah. If not more, actually. And the audio, I've probably listened to the audio over 150 times because I have it on my iPod. I have so much. My iPod, by the way, doesn't have music on it.
All personal development.
All of it.
I believe you 150%.
Oh yeah. Now I do have another iPod that has a lot of music on it, but I have an iPod that's strictly personal development.
You have one dedicated iPod to personal development. I gotta be honest, I do not, and now I'm inspired to go do so. So thank you.
But I got, you know what? I got one of my iPods right here, and I got lots of them, but I got one right here. This has nothing but PD on it, brother. That's it.
That's awesome.
And it's maxed out. There's no room left on it, by the way.
What I mean, man.
When I'm running, I'm exercising, I do not take my music with me. My brain has this ingrained on it with ripples of just, you know, atoms of just DNA molecules. This stuff is in my brain, brother. And that's it. So that's what gives you posture. That's how you do it. You want to know how to get posture? You read, you become better, you become a practitioner of the game, and you laser focus your energies on learning your craft. That's it. And that'll raise your posture. That'll raise your tonality because you'll learn tonality. You'll learn neuro-linguistic programming. You'll learn the psychology of getting somebody in. And you learn those things actually through this book and other books that you'll read to become a better person. Again, you don't want to wish for more money. You want to wish for more wisdom that'll make you a better person tomorrow than you were today and yesterday. And when you do these things, people see that. People, you know what? When somebody comes around you, Jason, I already know for a fact, when somebody gets around other leaders in our business, and I don't want to start name calling because we do have an enormous amount of talent in our company. And unbelievable. I'm really thrilled to death about it. And, you have to have, a certain, confidence to, posture, which our leaders do have. And when I know that somebody talks to you, they're saying themselves, this is what other people say when you're presenting a business, not you, Jason, but, other people, you all that are listening and watching to this. When people are listening to you and watching you, okay, I want you to remember something. The vibration is what's hitting your prospect, not your words. And if you start telling people a bunch of facts are a low vibration tonality. Telling stories is exciting. You see? And that raised vibration is a form of confidence. It's that tonality. It's posturing. And you know what, Jason? I don't give a flying rat's, you know what, whether you join my business or not, because I'm going to make $1 million next year. But you know what? I'd love to have you part of my business. But if you don't, that's fine too, because I'm going to make money with or without you. You in and you out. Hey, dude, I've known you for 20 years, man. And you know what? I'm about to make $1 million in this company. You in and you out. And you know what? If you're in, and I know you already are, so don't even tease me because I've known you for so many years. I already know you're going to do the business. Listen, you know what? I want to stop right here because I want to introduce you to somebody that is so phenomenal, that has a vision in this company that I can't really explain properly. And you know what? The odds are he's probably not going to pick up the phone because I know the guy's so daggone busy. But I want to introduce you to somebody that is a multimillionaire in the business. And he was with another company, and he actually started our company. But hey, you know what? Hold on a second. He's probably not going to have but about 30 seconds. I want to introduce you to him. Hold on a second. Click. 3-way phone call. Call your upline. Get the owner of the company on the phone. Get the owner of the company on the phone. You edify your prospect, to whoever it is you're doing the upline with your upline, and then you edify your upline, of course, to your prospect ahead of time, and then you do an introduction over the phone. Hi, XYZ person, I'd like you to meet Jason. Hey, Jason, this is the gentleman I was telling you about, and sir, this is Jason. This is the guy I was telling you about. I just wanted you to meet each other, and then you put your phone on mute, and you don't talk, you don't say anything until you're told. That's it. That is this business. That is how simple. See, our business is simple. It's not easy. Who said making a lot of money was easy? And if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. Nobody'd have jobs. And that's the challenge of the business. I love a challenge. I'm an athlete. You kidding me? I love being number one. I love being in the winning locker room. You shitting me? Pardon my language. Oops, I cursed. Okay, half of you going to quit now. Jesus, Lord. Listen, let me tell you something, folks. If you know what? Here's the funny thing. If a curse word's going to get you out of business, say it to your prospect when you first meet them. Because if a curse word gets somebody out of your business, there's no business being an entrepreneur. There really isn't. If your gut is that soft, I mean, if I can take my little pinky and stick it in your belly button and you giggle, I'm not going to recruit you. Stay Puft Marshmallow person. Are you kidding me? I'm looking for a warrior. I'm looking for a rock solid mental person that wants to go out there and kick the crap out of the financial world.
Something else, dude. I need to bring you into like a private training with the squad and just let you go. You give like the halftime speech. You're like a football coach.
That's it. Hey, dude, that's what it's all about. And you know what? Those halftime speeches, are they filled with a bunch of facts? Or are they filled with inspirational stories on how you need to win this game for this town? And you need to win this game for you and your family. That's who you need to win this financial game for. Not for anybody else. You win it for you. You win it for your family. You win it for your future self. You win it for your future doppelganger. You go out and you pick out your future self. There is infinite numbers of your future selves. It depends whether you want to go left, right, straight, backwards. It doesn't matter. There is infinite yous of the future. So all you have to do is think about which one you want to be, and you concentrate on it, and you do everything to be that person, and you don't let anybody get in your way of doing it. And of course, for everybody in our industry, it's being financially independent, having a sustainable residual income that makes you so much money that tears come out of your eyes. And let me tell you something, and being an entrepreneur, it's not how much money you're making, it's how much money you're making when you're not working. That's it. That's our business. The company we're in, we have a walkaway comp plan. Meaning that once you get to a certain point, you can literally, and when I mean walk away, that doesn't mean walk away and you leave and you say, see you later, and you wave to everybody. What it means is you don't have to work 18 hours a day. See, the funny thing is, in this business, you're going to work very, very hard to begin. Your energy level is going to be so high, but your income is down here. It's nothing, right? But what happens is your income starts going up, right? And your energy level is the same. And then your income surpasses your energy. And then all of a sudden you can stop really, doing as much work as you did. And then your income continues to go up because now you have a sales team of people that are new, but then you've been in the business for years. And so, but they're new. So they're about to go through what you've been through over the past couple of years, and that grows. And you're going to get to a point in your business where you have critical mass, where you're going to have status quo take over, meaning that you're going to have so many people in your organization that have their own dreams, their own visions, their own ambitions. They're going to have their own work ethic. And when you have lots of them, hey, I'd rather have 1% of the efforts of 100 people versus 100% of my own efforts. Leveraging. When you teach these things and learn these things, they're a part of the culture of your business. Getting rich is a team sport. You can't do it by yourself. Online, offline, network marketing, traditional business. You can't do it by yourself. And you need a team of people. You need to inspire people. You don't tell people what to do. And actually even training some people is a tough thing to do. You can train. I can train you to where the water is in the desert. I can train you where I can teach you how to dig a 30-foot hole and get drinking water in the desert. I can, by the way. That's a true story. There's drinking water all over the world, by the way, 100 feet deep. It's called the water table. Look it up. True story. Anything that I do say that comes out of my mouth, by the way, is either through experience or I learned it from a multimillionaire. Period. And most of the time, if you're not making more money than me, odds are I'm probably not going to listen to you. That's all there is to it. You're making more money than me, my mouth is shut. And everybody should be doing that. So when you teach somebody, you teach the simple fundamental things and you let the experts teach the stuff that they need to do in the business. See, what you all should be teaching your new people, pique interest, invite, promote. What should I say to somebody new to get them in the business? How do I do a 3? You know, there's really simple fundamental things that get somebody into the business. And you know what? This is 2015. You can turn your computer on and actually ask your computer questions, and it'll actually give you answers back in Google. And you actually go self-educate yourself. I'm an internet marketer as well. And I've been doing it for 17 years. And I have a very successful business, and I'm self-taught. And what I mean by self-taught was I went onto the internet, I went to Google, went to Amazon, I went to YouTube, and a lot of these companies weren't in business when I started my career online. And I self-taught myself. And there was years I didn't make any money. But my income eventually went up because I eventually got it. I eventually figured it out. And things constantly change in business. It's not just Google, it's life. And in business and in life, you've got to embrace change. Change is the most consistent thing that'll ever happen to you in life, and it happens on a microsecond basis from 1 second to the other. And if you don't adapt to change, especially in 2015, you're going to be in a job in 90 days. And that's where we don't want to be. I haven't had a job in a really long time. And so, I just said just the word, it's hard to say it. And I'll be honest with you. And you know what? You know, there's some people that go, oh, don't knock jobs. Really? I need my roads paved, and I need people to serve me food. I think jobs are great. God only knows I'm glad other people do work jobs. Really. I worked a job at one time. I don't downplay jobs. You kidding me? Not at all. But see, people justify this business when they're not successful. See, what happens is people come into the business because they want to make a lot of money. But then when they don't have success, they either turn into product sellers or they are justifiers. You know, oh yeah, I really love the product. I'm really into the product. Well, that's great. Are you into the money? You know, you ask 100 people why they got in network marketing. Oh, I got into network marketing because I really love the product. And if somebody contradicts what I'm just saying right now, you're a justifier because you got into this business so you didn't have to work a job and make a lot of money. You wanted to be financially independent. And so when you start justifying to me that, oh, Todd, that's not why I got in. I just got in because I wanted to lose weight. No, you didn't. You went to an opportunity meeting and you didn't hear the facts and you saw the people walk across the stage. You heard the testimonies and you said, I want to be that person. Oh, you mean you got products? Oh, well, let me try them. And then you do it for 30, 60, and 90 days or 120 days or 6 months. You have no success because you didn't pay attention. And then you start saying, yeah, I got into the business because of the products. Yeah, the money's, the money, you know, the justifiers. All right. Stop justifying in your business. Pay attention. Go to the trainings. See, it's all the justifiers that don't show up to the events. They don't show up to the trainings. They don't get on the Monday hangout. So they don't get on these hangouts, you see? And so, you know, this is business, ladies and gentlemen, and business is tough. Let me tell you something that's tougher than business. Waking up in the morning, going to work for some schmuck and getting in traffic for an hour and working for some idiot, and you're sitting in a box. And by the way, you live in a box. You got into a box that has a pedal and a steering wheel, and you drove to your box. You were in your box 8 hours a day. Then you got back into your box and you drove home to your box. I do not live in a box, ladies and gentlemen. I live in a circle. No one can corner me. And so I'm an entrepreneur. And so when somebody comes to me and starts justifying why things aren't working, I already know why they're not working for you, because I'm the guy that has the light switch. You see, I know when it's dark and I know when it's light. And I already know, see, the higher can always understand the lower, but the lower can never understand the higher when it comes to awareness. And so you've got to understand that everybody's on a certain level. Me too. I'm a practitioner. I'm a student of the game. And ladies and gentlemen, by the way, I'm at the bottom of the totem pole, by the way. There are so many people that dwarf my income. It's not even funny. And by the way, I don't do too shabby. But there are people that dwarf my income. There's people that if they made 10 times my income, they'd still have to file bankruptcy. So everybody's on a different level, but you don't look at other people. You look at where you were yesterday. You make yourself better today so you can make more money tomorrow. Don't get me started.
God, go, dude. Look. Go. I wasn't stopping at all. We could go till 11. Just so many things that you have just said, round it all about. And it's really what it's about. One thing, that's what closing's all about. One thing that hit home, and I always have embraced this, because like I said, when I got into the business, when I got into this industry, it immediately made sense, which is why I made the decision. You just said something that I think is the X factor, the most important thing, hands down, bar none. I've seen so many people literally become successful because of this one thing. Show up. Show up. You don't be too cool for school. One thing that I can take pride in that nobody can take away from me, because people are like, oh, man, you know, you're so good. You're young. You're so successful. You have a huge team. You know, I love working with you, and I appreciate that. But here's what I tell them back in the most humble and legit thing, the most legit response is, you know what? I'm really, really, truly not that special. You look at a picture of me in my 7th or 8th grade yearbook and you would laugh. I laugh when I look at it. I've come a long way because I accepted the fact that I can never be too cool for school, you know? And when I got into this industry, I looked around and I saw the people that were successful. And I said, you know what? There's no difference in them. I can eventually get up in front of a room and tell my story. And is it scary? Absolutely. Everybody on this call, you think you can't become a top earner in whatever business you're in, you're nuts. Show up to the calls. You've all taken the step to be on this. And you know what's funny, Todd? You'll agree with me. But you know, I've been doing these chalkboard sessions for probably this episode 7, probably 3 months, we'll say, to be fair. I've been in network marketing for just about 2 years. You've been in it for way longer, 25 years. You will agree with me. The same core people show up to the meetings, and those same core people are on the leaderboards. Those same core people are on the MDC corporate, or on the corporate cruise, or on, you know, at the convention speaking on stage. It's those people who do it every single time. Absolutely. There's somebody I'm thinking of right now. We work with her, one of our colleagues, and for the first few months, she was kind of tangled in a whole thing with her, you know, sponsoring the business, and she was just lost. But you know what? She never quit. She never stopped going to the meetings. She never stopped doing it, and I've seen her on the leaderboards the last 90 days.
Yes.
It's like, success leaves clues.
Absolutely it does.
You couldn't agree more, right? Show
Absolutely
up.
Correct.
Show up. Show
100%.
up. Show up. That's
and
it.
The funny thing is to that, what you're saying is that people think that, you know, the people that are at the events and everything, that, you know, they're just making all the money, right? Well, that's not true, because those people at one time weren't making all the money. They started that, oh, you're at the top, right? Well, everybody starts their own organization at the top. All right. And entrepreneurs do traditional business. You know, entrepreneurs don't start somebody else's company and say, oh, I'm going to own the company. Okay. You know, they start at the top and they build down. They get vice presidents, they get regional managers, and they get local managers and employees, and they build their structure. And, you know, it's, you know, you become who you hang around. And so when you show up, you're showing up and getting inspiration and vibrational energy and wisdom from the people that are making all the money, who at one time weren't making all the money, but they were showing up too to all the events. And then they started making money because they were showing up at the events. And then when you go to the event, see, you're not at home watching TV, which is a waste of time. And you have to understand that when you're in business, there, you know, people go, oh, I'm going to go relax. Oh, let me go unwind. Let me tell you when you unwind. When you go to sleep for 3 to 4 hours a night. And when you're so energetic, when you wake up in the morning and you just jump out of bed, you don't unwind until, you know, when you go to sleep again. Vacations are nice, but you go on vacations when you're rich. All right. Until then, you work your butt off. And then not everybody can do this. Most people need to rest. It's very few people that have the, you know, the locomotive mentality, right? Let me ask you something. By the way, I'm a locomotive. And if you stand in front of if my locomotive's doing 75 miles an hour, and you all know what big locomotives look like, right? What would happen to you if you stood in front of a locomotive doing, you know, 75 miles an hour? It would squish you, wouldn't it? Kind of what would happen if you stood, you know, in front of entrepreneurs, you know? It's like a lot of people, not to get political, but a lot of people are seeing, you know, one of the presidential candidates, you know, now on TV, and they're going, oh my God, he's, you know, mouthy. But all of a sudden they go, but what he says makes so much sense. Oh my goodness. You too, you do the same thing, right, with people. And so, you know, the theme of everything that we'll be talking about, I know we're talking about, you know, some things to say to people and posturing and peaking, but when somebody meets you and they see that you're dressed sharp and, and you're special, you seem special to people because your confidence is so high. You know, you have a pleasing personality. You're not rude to somebody. You know, you always play. You know what? There's a video of Steve Jobs, and he was at an event, And this is probably like 15, 20 years ago. And some guy was rude as can be to him. I mean, ripped him up. Some guy in the audience, some analytical broke person, I'm telling you, said to Steve Jobs, you did this and you did that. And I thought Steve Jobs was going to rip his head up. I mean, seriously. And there was probably 1,000 people in the audience. And Steve Jobs was on stage and he put his hand on his chin like this and he was quiet for like 15 seconds. And that's a long time when you got 1,000 people in the room. And he turned around and he was so eloquent that he made everybody, he made 999 other people in the room hate that egotistical blowhard that asked that ridiculous question. But it was his character. And I'll tell you this, and I know we've been talking for a long time, but your business is going to be based upon your character. You either have good character or you don't, and there is no in between. You always got to be truthful. You always have to be honest. You always have to be polite, and you have to be that person that they want to be. You have to be that person that somebody else wants to strive for, and they're going to see it in you, and they're going to see it through your confidence and your posture, and you know what? Let me tell you, there's a lot of people that do not understand what fake it till you make it means. People go fake it. See, people think that means lying. It has nothing to do with it. What fake it till you make it means, and it's all in this book right here, fake it till you make it is what you're doing in your mind when you're setting goals, when you are thinking about where you want to be in a year from now, you have to act that way. You act as if you're making 10 grand a month. Act as if you're already walking across the stage. And you have to act that way when you're not making any money. And that doesn't mean, oh, you're going out and buying a car, or you're showing somebody your new watch or your new, that has nothing. When I hear people talk about fake it till you make it, 99% of people in our industry have no idea what fake it till you make it means. You're faking your brain out. You're telling your brain in a year from now, right? I know that I'm going to be making 10 grand a month, but what you say to your brain is, you know what? This is August 12th. It's August 12th, 2015. And I feel just so excited making $15,000 a month this month in my business. Oh my God, I feel excited. This is, February 2016. And I feel so grateful that I'm making $19,000 a month. I am so pleased. I'm so joyful in my journey. Thank you. I'm so grateful. Practicing gratitude, practicing joy in your journey. And you learn all these things through personal development. Jason, I'll tell you, 25 years ago, that if you took my shoes off and you were in my shoes, you'd immediately throw them back at me and you aim for my head. If you took my shoes off today and you were in my shoes, you would run as fast as you can. And you'd never give my shoes back. But I'm talking about 25 years of hardcore personal development. I knew, because I'll tell you something. I was kind of a radical salesperson in my 20s, and I was a high paid salesperson. There was two things that happened when I went into your house. I either sold you my product, or you were never going to have another salesman in your house again, ever, because I was a closer. I was closing you all day. I don't care if I had to stay in your house 5 or 6 hours and eat pizza with you and your family for dinner and then kind of camp out. I'm telling you, I had people buy from me because they wanted me out of their house. But then I did such a good post-close that I kept people from having buyer's remorse and canceling the order. Mm-hmm. That's it. I learned all these arts, these skills. See, that's a skill set. There's a formula in our business. There's a formula in business in general, whether it's online, offline, network marketing, or otherwise. Mindset plus skill set times performance, which is another word for execution, equals your result. Mindset plus skill set times your performance equals result. See, you can do this slow or you can go fast. Here's another line in the network marketing industry. It's a marathon. It's not a race. Really? You mean you want to wait until you're dead to make $1 million? You want to do it quick. Okay, you want to be the tortoise or the hare? Go onto YouTube right now and Google the phrase fast moving turtle. By the way, I lived in the Caribbean pretty much my entire life on the island. I went back and forth in and out of the country. And I'm telling you right now, turtles are fast. And by the way, turtles are faster than rabbits. Most people don't know that. But see, that's that broke freaking mentality. Oh, I'd rather be the hare than the turtle. Really? When you see how fast turtles run, you're going to, nope, I don't want to be the rabbit anymore. I want to be the turtle. Because turtles can run fast. Because they had to run fast because they lay eggs on the beach and they had to go back into the water before they got eaten. See? Rabbits bury themselves in the ground. They know how to hide. They don't need to run fast. But we all saw too many daggone Bugs Bunny cartoons, right? And that's kind of what happens. Kind of telling my age there. But the thing is that, you know, you want to be the tortoise and the hare. You want to be both. There's going to be times where you run fast, and there's going to be times where you kind of relax a little bit. And when you do relax, you don't let anybody in your group know. Because if you relax, they're going to relax. Your group is going to do half of what you do right, and they're going to triple what you do wrong. That's why you got to be so cognizant of what you're doing with your group.
God. Go, dude. Go. All great. I mean, wow. So the fast moving turtle, there really is a turtle.
Google it.
I think of these little box turtles. You know, my dad scooped out some box turtles when we were younger. You're probably not even allowed to have them. They move so slow.
Yeah.
The tortoise versus the hare, you know, it's that marathon versus the sprint. I've heard that. You know, and it is part of that mentality. I think the reason why people say that, you know, philosophies often get misconstrued and diced up and, you know,
changed,
right. And you just sit on that. It's a marathon, bro.
Yeah. Let me tell you who came up with that. Top Mountaineers came up with that because they didn't want you to quit. Oh, listen, it's a marathon. Well, yes, it is. But do you want to see, that's the performance part of the equation. Mindset plus skill set times performance. Do you want to build this business fast? Like if you asked 100 people, 100 of your prospects that got into your business, and if you ask them, do you want to do this business fast or do you want to do this business slow? How would they answer that?
Fast.
Absolutely.
Fast. I'd be like, yeah.
So is fast sprinting or is fast going slow? It's sprinting, isn't it? And by the way, I'm 52 years old, and I guarantee I'd probably outrun most of you on this call right now. And I'm 52, and I'm 240 pounds. I'm actually pretty damn fast for an old cat. And I am. I hate to say it, but you know what? I'm like that in business too. I love to go fast. I like to make the money fast, sustain, and I'm a sustainable guy. I've really, truly only been with 4 network marketing companies in 25 years. I've certainly had other people that have signed me up in their company, that type of thing here, you know, try to persuade me into their company. But when it comes to building companies, 4 in 25 years. And I'm with one right now that you're with, which, you know, and let me tell you something, all network marketing companies are a long-term build. All businesses are a long-term build. All athletes work on their craft for many, many, many years before they were maybe even possibly going to the pros. Every offline person that's, you know, the old industrial age revolution way of doing things like, you know, franchises, those people put out hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of dollars and work for 2, 3, 4, 5 years to see a profit. Actors and actresses will tell you, give it 10 to 15 years. But the problem is it's inexpensive to get into network marketing. And network marketing is like the full moon. It brings out all the werewolves. Absolutely. The great thing about network marketing is anybody can join. The bad thing about network marketing is anybody can join. And you have to learn how to sift and sort through people. And what's going to make you broke in this business is working with the wrong people. You have to develop the art form of working with the correct person every day. And you have to teach that. You have to learn how to teach, to teach, to teach. That's it. And you do that through taprooting and through spending personal time with people and doing what you're doing. You're traveling. You're going to spend time with people. That's relationship building. Everything I see you and everybody in our company, you are modeling. You and your team is modeling what everybody should be doing in our business. Period. End of story. And you know what? Some people call it old school. I call it school. There's no such thing as old school. It's called fundamentals, by the way. And fundamentals is something that every athlete goes back to when they're not doing well. If you're not doing well, if you're a batter, if you're whatever sport it is you're not doing it well at, your coach is going to say, go back to the fundamentals. Go back to the batting cages. That's it. And I was a 400 hitter in baseball. I could hit the ball 500 feet when I was 14 years old. I was an excellent athlete. But there were times where, I was kind of the Babe Ruth type of a guy and hit the crap out of the baseball. And I could still run the bases. You couldn't hit a baseball. I was so fast, and I was kind of big when I was younger. I was a great outfielder. I was a phenomenal first baseman because I was tough. And a lot of people don't know this, but when somebody goes down that first base line, one of the objectives of that person running down the line is try to step on your foot so you can take your foot off the bag so you're safe. Well, after I kicked the living you-know-what out of the first person that did that to me when I was in high school, and I was in, by the way, when I was in the 9th grade, I made my varsity baseball team. And when I was in college, I was a walk-on. And made their varsity baseball team when I was 17 years old, playing with 22, 23, and 24-year-old guys who were about to go into major leagues. And I beat them out at first base. Now, they all hated me, by the way, because I was 17 and they're 23, and I kicked out their friend out of first base. But after I hit a couple home runs and won games for people, they loved me. And this is all about your business. And when you hit home runs for your team, your people are going to love you too, just the same way. And you can't be passive in your business as a leader. You got to hit home runs. You don't hit leaders don't hit singles and doubles. They hit home runs. And you've got to do that for your team.
Yo, dude, don't let me get in the way. I gotta write that down. I like that. That's a real good nugget. Leaders don't hit singles, doubles, triples. They hit home runs. And I feel like there's a couple things that I do want to touch on. I do feel like after watching the industry very close, that I've seen a lot of things. When I first got into the industry, I saw what you talked about a little bit earlier, the fake it till you make it, but the wrong fake it till you make it. Walking around with Louis V sneakers, or, getting that company car that actually they weren't even qualified for.
Right.
Sorry if this offends anybody, but I'm going to call it how it is. I saw, all the things that they tried to attract people in. But you know what I always say? What you do duplicates. And it all reverts back to how they get started. If I sponsor you into the business, you believed in me. What I did, what I showed you, the videos, my method, that is how you're going to do the business. So imagine, everybody wants success, but imagine I go out and, get a credit card and go buy a $10,000 watch that I can't even afford. And then I show the watch. I get people to sign up because of the watch. They don't have a watch.
Right.
How in the world? Because when they're at the table with their prospect, they're going to be like, stuck. And they're going to be like, oh, wait a minute. This is from, Walmart,
Right.
And that's why when I came, I learned my lesson, and I went in, did a lot of research, and I said, you know what? I was never affiliated with that crap, but I had to separate myself emotionally from all the other stuff and say, I got to go do something big. And, I want to thank you very much for saying that about the team. And, we did take it back to the basics, but we've always had this mentality of putting the people first. We don't talk about incomes. We don't talk about, what we talk about is you. Because if that's the central piece, just like Zig Ziglar said, if you can help enough people get what they want, you'll have everything you want. So when you make that the center, then you know what? How easy is it for somebody to finally feel like they've been cared about by somebody other than their mom, dad, aunt, uncle, grandma? And now they can compel that passion to the universe. They can take that and say, you know what? Listen, what this has done for me is very different than anything that's ever happened in my life before. And you may, that's a real tonality. That
absolutely.
I care. When I talk to people, I'm like, hey, here's the deal. I'm not going to sit here and talk about how much money I've made, how much money the mentors have made. I'm going to talk about what's in it for you. Where are you at in life? Where are you working? How can we help you get out of that? What's the plan? Take it back to the very, very, very basics, where people really tend to overcomplicate it and try to make it, like you said earlier, analysis paralysis.
That's it.
Got this product with these 12 ingredients and this thing and that, blah, 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 this comp plan, this system, all these.
We think that sells people, but it doesn't.
But it doesn't. It doesn't at all. It actually unsells them because they have things running through their mind, and they're like, wait a minute, that's what I have to do in order to be successful.
That's right.
Close.
That's it.
I'm gonna tell this story. This is like the best thing to talk about right now. Perfect. And this is like a really good takeaway for people on this webinar. You may, or there may be people in your team, or you may see people doing this. Your leaders may be doing this to you, and this is where you can throw up the stop sign. This is one of the best lessons learned ever, network marketing career, right here. We got a call from somebody on my team, previous company. Okay, it's like, dude, my neighbor just got home. He's like, this guy owns or overviews 25 minor league soccer clubs. He's home right now. I just went over and talked to him. He's down to talk about the business. and he wants to present our products to all the owners and all the sub owners and the coaches and the players, not only for the product use, but also for, the potential to earn extra income. So we're talking like, wow, all right, let's get in the car. Okay. So I get one of the top earners in the company who happened to be in town doing some events, and we go over to this guy's house. Okay. We do a full blown, presentation. We talk about the products. We answered questions. We did everything. The guy was 100% on board. He had his credit card on the table, and he was buying the biggest pack that company offered. And one guy who we brought with us went in and sat down with him and went through every product, every ingredient, every, what country they were for, whose grandma picked them off the tree, what the comp plan does, how you should talk. I mean, he went through the whole thing, and guess what happened? We left that house. The guy never signed up. I'm telling you, hand to God, credit card on the table, picking what pack he wanted. And through this analysis paralysis moment, the guy said everything changed. The energy died. He said, I'm going, so here's the deal. I'm going to, Nicaragua next week, and I don't want the product sitting on my porch, and, I'm going to get back to you guys. And you know what he never did? He never got back. They never got in the business. Right. So the best lesson learned for this whole thing is the close happens when you do the work. You show them that you're passionate. You show them what's in it for them, and you, like you said, hit mute. Let it go. Let it go. Right. Let nature take its course. You know what? Because after the guy signs up, after he gets his products, that's when I like to kick into gear. That's when I say, all right, you've got your product, unwrap them, taste them, touch them, feel them. Great.
That's it.
Now let's go to work.
That's when the work starts.
That's it. I say, hey, let's go to work. Give them a few simple tools. I point them towards industry legends. The Eric Worre. I point them towards Brian Carruthers, who I admire. I point them towards people who are way better than me. So I take myself out of the equation. I say, hey, go study this guy for the next 14 days. Go read this. Go listen to this. Prepare their mind. Don't get that analysis paralysis where you got a prospect on the line and you're like, hey, well, on top of the fact that we're going to get you out of work, I want to talk to you about the ingredients and the future and the vision and the blah, 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 blah. Yes. The close comes when you're not closing. The close comes when you're there, when you say, hey, listen, 30-day money back guarantee. Most companies have it, 30, 60-day money back guarantee. I always hit them with that little bit of assurance. That way they're like, it takes scam out of the equation. My biggest thing is, hey, Todd, listen, man, I'm really, truly, genuinely excited to get to work with you. You're somebody that just even after a brief conversation, our energies are there. You're motivated, you're driven. And honestly, in this business, I get to pick and choose who I put my time into. I do have a large organization, and I can see us working together really well. Let's go. Let's get your account made. Little brief pause. Hey, let's get your account made. They process it. Check. Let's get that product to your front door. Check. In the next 24 hours, let's do a game plan interview. And you know what? You got a 30-day money back guarantee on this. So if you're not happy with my performance, then return them. No love lost, no love found. Sound fair enough?
Yep.
Sounds great. Bang. That's it. It's so simple.
It is.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I wanted to bring something up that you said. People don't care what you know till they know that you care. And this business is all about your character. When they know that you really care about them, your organization's motto, people over profits. Let me tell you, if you continue, I'll just come out and say it. It's kind of a spiritual, not necessarily religion, but people go to church because they know the people around them in their church care about them, right? Yes. And or vice versa, or their pastor, whatever the case may be. So people love to be around those types of people, not necessarily brash. And you hear, I'm in training mode right now, and I'm not like this to a prospect. Are you kidding me? I'm very soft-spoken. Yep. I'm a chameleon, just like we all are. But I tell you, there's only 4 basic personality traits with any human being. And then once you learn people's personalities, you learn how to say certain things to a certain personality to keep them in the business. Number one, you'll learn the longer you're in network marketing, you'll learn that when you learn when somebody's analytical, you'll stop talking to them. You'll want to get away from that conversation as quickly as possible. Then after that, you have socio-conscious people, people that really care about people and things and not hurting the environment. Then you have fun-loving people that really don't care about that kind of stuff. They just want to have fun. Then you have a red, aggressive, money-motivated person that will ask you about the compensation plan first before the product. Oh, hey, by the way, what's the product? Oh, you can make $1 million. Tell me about the product later. Tell me about the business model. And when you learn that when you meet somebody, I've just been in this business so long that I can be in front of you for literally 10 seconds, even without you opening your mouth up, and I already know what your personality is. And that's why I know how to recruit in this business, because I can instantly, just through you being in front of me, get your personality. And that tells my brain exactly what to say to you to get in the business. And when you listen to Jim Rohn, you'll learn that when you're new in this business, that you can make up in numbers what you lack in skill. So when you're new and you don't have skill, you just go talk to lots of people. That's how you get good. And when you're good, you'll recruit 1 out of 20. When you're new, when you're new, you'll recruit 1 out of 20, 1 out of 30, 1 out of 40. As you show up to events, as you hang around your sponsor, when you hang around people that are doing the business, don't hang around people that are new and not doing the business. You hang around people that are doing the business that are successful. Then you're going to start recruiting 1 out of 10, then 2 out of 10, then 3 out of 10, then 4 out of 10, then 6 and 7 out of 10. People that make a lot of money in this business are master recruiters because they got the confidence, they got the posture, and they got the income, which success leaves clues. And so your motto of caring about people, that's extremely important, because people want to know that. People don't care what you know. You could be the most brilliant multi-freaking millionaire on the planet, and if they sense that you don't care about them, they're out of your organization. They might be there for 30, 60, 90 days, but they're going to be gone. People want to be a part of a culture. They want to be a part of a family. And in life, friends and family is all there is, brother. It's love, man. There ain't no money to it. Forget the money. The money is going to come. You can't chase the money. Let me tell you, money is like the beach ball in the pool. By the way, have you ever been in the pool swimming before?
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever been in the ocean swimming?
Yes.
Have you ever played with the beach ball in the ocean? Or in a pool? What happens when you swim after a beach ball? You see the beach ball, it's like 10 feet away, and you swim towards it and you try to catch. What happens to the beach ball when you swim towards the beach ball?
It's going.
It keeps going and you can't grab it, right? What happens when you're in the pool talking to a couple of your friends and the beach ball is in the pool, and like in 10 minutes or 15 minutes when you're talking to your friends, you look right next to you. What's right next to you?
The beach ball.
The beach ball. You see, that's our business. You don't chase the money. Don't chase the beach ball, because it will come to you through time, through your character, your posture, your pleasant personality, your great attitude, your good health, your standing in the world, who you are, because people are going to want to be like you. And if you're not the person your prospect wants to be, you lose. That's why personal development is so important. That's why it's so important to gain wisdom on a daily basis. And wisdom doesn't mean a 60-year-old. I had wisdom when I was 12 because of the people I hung around. You get it? But I was fortunate. I hung around wealthy people when I was a kid because I hung around my dad. My dad was very poor, born and raised in South Florida, by the way, became a wealthy entrepreneur. Jeez, I was his youngest son. I went everywhere with the guy. I hung around him and his rich friends, and so I picked up a lot as a kid. I really did. So when I was in my 20s and I got into sales, made a ton of money. When I was 27 years old, I met a 25-year-old multi-freaking millionaire who, by the way, is unbelievably retired from this industry. He hasn't been in network marketing for 10 years because he's so sick wealthy. It's not even funny. But when I met him, I was like, I want to do that. Because, see, I had a traditional business. I was paying quarterlies, maximum Social Securities, 941s. I had babysitting headaches with my employees. That was a freaking nightmare. That was a slave model. That was industrial revolution stuff that was going to put me in my grave well before the age of 52. I found a business where I didn't have to pay 941s, quarterlies, maximum Social Security, employee headaches, and I could inspire people and use leverage all over the world and literally make an income so big and help out other people make incomes that are so big that I could go and take vacations once a month, which is just about what I do right now. Like I said, if you were in my shoes right now, you would run as fast as you can away from me. But if you're in my shoes 25 years ago, you would immediately take them off and throw them at my head. That's how far I've come. And you don't need to go take 25 years to get there. And I'm here where I am right now because I engage in an enormous amount of personal development. I hang around people that make more money than I do, even to this day, and I constantly will and always have. And some people a little less, but for the most part, I hang around most of my friends make an enormous amount of money, way more than I do. And if I wind up making more money than one of my friends, guess what happens to that guy or lady? You know what? Guess what? We just kind of don't hang out as much because I am always going up that I want to progress because I want to be a better person tomorrow than I am today for all of you. And that is all of our mottos in this industry. And when people know that, they'll join your business.
Phenomenal. And one thing that I wanted to talk about, Todd, and you'll appreciate this big time. This is huge philosophy just in life. I read a book. I'm sure you've read it. Jeff Olson, The Slight Edge.
Yeah.
Also another major philosophy, just not in network marketing and business. This is huge. Not just the Slight Edge philosophy, but here's the philosophy that this is. Do not drag your past forward. Do not drag your past forward. The way that you can so loosely talk about, hey, 25 years ago, I was somebody that nobody would follow, right. And now I am who I am. And that plays into the whole theme, which is why I wanted to bring it up on the close, on the call when you're with a prospect. You got to take that rejection and embrace it, because if you get emotionally attached to the things that happen in your business, if you get emotionally attached to your leaders and they leave, your business goes on the decline. Even the good parts of your business go on the decline. You could have 10 teams that are booming, but if you're emotionally attached to one of those leaders and they leave, it's like your whole business is irrelevant.
Right.
You're emotional. If you're on the phone and you're emotional with this prospect and they say no, they say heck no, and they say, I can't believe you're even in this pyramid thing, and you take that to heart, then you know what? The next call, you're going to be a little bit less. And if you get another no, you're going to be a little bit less. And if you get another no, you're going to be a little bit less. And that's really a great philosophy in life because, I go look and I try not to gamble anymore because you know what? I don't see it as a productive activity. All my friends growing up, and I was in Atlantic City. I basically grew up from 21 to, well, actually, I started gambling in Atlantic City when I was 19, which is widely illegal. But, 19 to 23, 24, I was down there, lived down there, ran nightclubs, worked around it. And you know what? Everybody gambles. And I did as well. And I blew all the money I was making at a 5-star restaurant, waiting on all these famous people. Blew it all in the casino, all of it. So if you're a gambler on the call, maybe time to cut that off. But, the biggest thing is that you see, even with that, the mentality that you bring to the table. You don't take, that you got crushed by the dealer on your last hand on blackjack. And you come into the new hand fresh. Because you know what? If you got burned last time, you're going in thinking, I'm going to lose. And you bet a little bit looser. You make a little bit, less decisions because you're always emotionally chasing. And I have friends who go all the time. My friends now are in Atlantic City, blowing up my phone, which is why I turned it face down because I can't get out of this group chat, unfortunately. And you know what? They're going to go down there, and tomorrow I'm going to hear, oh, my God, I lost $500 again. You make $800 a week. You lose $500 a week, which means you really make $300, and you work way more. So the point of me bringing that up is don't drag your past forward. If you've been in 3 companies and you failed, it's time to start fresh. I have a guy on my team who's been in network marketing for 4 years. He has 20-something personal recruits. I've lost count.
Awesome.
He had no success. Yeah. But you know what? We told him, hey, fresh start, man. Don't fall forward. Treat people like people, not a number. It's a numbers game, but it's a game of people, how much you care.
Sure.
So don't drag your past forward, and you have not. And that's what I admire about guys like you, our CEO. Everybody in entrepreneur adventure has been through hell and back. It's not butterflies and rainbows. Tony Robbins was homeless. Eric Thomas, homeless. And you know what? You go through these little trials, and that's what makes you successful. So, dragging the past forward is a major takeaway. Guys, go into every single call like fresh slate, like you're excited, just like day one. What got you in the business? Think about that.
Right. And that gets you re-excited again. And there's a fundamental in our business. It's mastering the mundane. And it's something I want to bring up that you brought up, which is absolutely true, is you don't become emotionally attached with people because you must embrace the fact that the most consistent thing in your life and in a business is going to be change on a daily basis. And people are going to come in and out of your business constantly. If you owned a traditional business and you owned a yogurt store, you'd have employees come work for you this summer and they'd leave. And then you'd have employees come work for you in September and they'd leave in Christmas time after they got their Christmas money. And then you'll have people that have a New Year's resolution. They're going to go out and get a job and you'll hire them in January and they're going to leave in July. People are always in it. When you're an entrepreneur, a true entrepreneur, when somebody comes in and comes out of your business, great. I'm in business. People are going to constantly come in and out of your business, and you must embrace that. You must embrace the mundane. When you're embracing the mundane, mastering the mundane is that repetitious cycle of doing the same thing in and out every day, which is piquing interest, prospecting, getting people into your sales funnel, and then following up in three-way and then rinsing and repeating that process. And the more you do it, the better you get. The better you get, the more you do. The more you do, the more people you recruit. The more you recruit, the more confidence you get, the more money you make. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And so you have to master that every day.
Yep. And it's just true. Consistency it's so important. A consistent philosophy, health, wealth, relationships, all of it comes together. And this another thing too, and this is just kind of a little bit off the path, but talking about mastering the mundane, the philosophy of being consistent, sometimes even myself, I have to, get out of this. I spend so much time in front of this desk, in this chair. Sometimes I have to shake myself off. And I was telling you, Todd, before, I think when we were talking earlier today, that I go outside and I shoot hoops for 45 minutes or a half hour and listen to some TV, or, today I was listening to the Cash Cow. So just find something that you can remove yourself from the situation for a little while and then get back to the mundane. The mundane is boring, but the mundane is why every person's successful. Michael Jordan truly wanted to be in the gym shooting every single day for hours? Absolutely not. But you know what? When he was in the championships and he was knocking down game-winning shots and leading the team to victory and walks away with all those rings, he ain't that mad about the mundane anymore.
Right. Right. Absolutely. And, you brought up a good subject there. And that is, what makes one person making more money than the other? What makes one person, you won't use the word better, but maybe more further along in your business, and when you watch the Olympics, just imagine and understand that those young folks that are in the Olympics, they've been practicing that sport since they were probably 4 or 5 years old. And now they're like in their teens and possibly even the early 20s in the Olympics. And you watch the downhill skiers. Some of those courses are like 3/4 of a mile or a mile. They both start at the top of the hill at the same time. How fast those downhill racers are going. They're going sometimes close to 100 miles an hour. A mile down the hill. And one racer beats the other one by 1/100th of a second. Now, that one person that won 1/100th of a second, what did that person do different than the person that was almost just as fast but didn't win? They woke up earlier. They did more. They stayed up later. They practiced their craft more than that other guy did. Even though they beat him by only that split second, that split second is completely irrelevant. You either won or you lost, period. And the people that win do more. See, the one thing about me, and the owner of our company says the same thing, but let me tell you something. A lot of entrepreneurs say this, is nobody outworks me. Our company mentor, company owner as well says that. And other company owners say that. Successful people say that. That's my point. Nobody outworks me. And truly, nobody does outwork me in my team or in business. I work very, very hard. I'm constantly pushing it and grinding it, and I'll stop when I'm buried. Don't judge me. I'm not done yet. I got a long way to go. And so, I love to enjoy myself and hang out and have fun. And you know what? I worked really hard for the past 25 years to get where I am right now. And I still work hard. But I work out of my home, plural. I travel and go do whatever I want, when I want, with who I want. I don't go do things anytime I want to. I go out and I have lunch at 11:30 in the afternoon. I don't get home till 3. Sometimes I wake up at 9 o'clock in the morning. I mean, really, you know, and I don't go get in traffic and work at JOB. I don't do that because I don't want to do that anymore. I'm not downplaying. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to work for somebody else's company because I already know that I'm not even going to get a Timex when I'm 65 years old. That's the odds, right? And I'm not going to work for 40 years working for somebody else's company, knowing ahead of time that the past 60 to 70 years, people have been doing it and they don't get ahead. So that's the definition of insanity, is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So why do that? I want to go do what's new. I want to go build my own organization. I want to start at the top. I don't want to go join somebody else's pyramid that they started. Because see, you know what? When you join somebody else's pyramid, which is what we're taught when we go to college, you know, go get a good college education and go join somebody else's company, you know, climb that corporate ladder, right? Well, let's just say you're an employee and you want to get your boss's job, right? What has to happen to your boss for you to get your boss's job? They have to die, retire, quit, get laid off, or get fired. 5 really positive things that happen at your job. So let's say you do climb up the corporate ladder and you get your boss's job. You've been there a couple of years. What are all the other employees trying to do? They're trying to get your job. So guess what happens now? You have to die, retire, quit, get laid off, or get fired. 5 positive things to happen to you, but you don't want that happening to you. So you wind up keep striving to try to get up the corporate ladder so you become more relevant. You start making more money. You think you can't get fired, but the odds are the higher you move up the corporate ladder, the better a chance you have of getting fired, because the boss is going to hire somebody in 3 to 4 or 5 years from now, half your age, at a 30-year salary, because your boss has new family and they want to get that new bicycle and they want to send their kids to this new school, and firing you is going to do it. So, you know, it's an industrial age revolution idea to go out and get a good education, get a good job for somebody else's company. This is 2015 and you got to learn the new way of doing things. And that is to be intelligent, to look at what the new business model in business is. And that's leveraging, that's, creating the character for yourself, that you're helping out other people. Help other people get what you want, you'll get what you want. Help other people pay your bills, it'll automatically pay your bills. That philosophy of giving value out to the marketplace, regardless of whether you get paid for it, that is what the universe will bring to you in the form of riches, whether it be finances or otherwise, but most of the time it is through finances. And so, it's important that, all these fundamentals that you're hearing is just not to hear it, but is to put it into practice and practical application and action. And then just continuing, through repetition is the mother of learning. And understand that when you're working for somebody else's company, your days are numbered. But when you're working your own business, your days aren't numbered. It's a positive thing. But you know what? It's a funny thing is that I worked a job at one time and I hated it. Couldn't stand it. And it drove me and inspired me to go do my own thing. It inspired me to get into sales. It inspired me to get into network marketing. It inspired me to be an entrepreneur. So it was a bunch of negative things that inspired me to go do something positive. And that really, truly is what happens to a lot of people in life. And when you're out there recruiting people and becoming a master recruiter, we're all talent scouts in our business. That's all it is. You got to learn to become a great talent scout. And you got to learn as a talent scout that when you're bringing somebody into your business, you might recruit a 3 because they're all excited, right? But then you start working with that 3, and that 3 doesn't go to the meetings. You'll give them some things to do. They don't do it. You'll go to follow up with them. They're not home. They call you a week later and they tell you that they had to cut the grass and take their wife this, here, and everywhere. And great. You're either cutting the lawn or you're paying somebody else to cut the lawn. I don't cut my lawn. I pay somebody else to do it. I do not lower myself into doing something that's going to make me less per hour than what I do for a living with network marketing. I think about, let me see, I don't do my own laundry. I pay somebody to do my laundry. I don't clean my house. I pay somebody to clean my house because I'm busy making money. And you've got to have that mindset. I don't want to go on a vacation 3 weeks from now. 3 weeks from now is prime recruiting season in my industry. You kidding me? I'll take a vacation in Christmas when I'm making 15 grand a month in my company. So that is the mindset you've got to have. And it's a bulletproof mindset. It's a locomotive mindset. It's a, hey, I don't care whether you join my business or not, I am successful. I'm not going to be successful. I am successful. And putting yourself in that mindset in the future of where you're going to be, people feel that, they sense that, they know it. And people are going to join you because they want to put their caboose on your locomotive. They know you're a strong monster. Hey, let me ask you something.
You want to go with you, brother?
Dude, let me ask you something. Do you want to get into a bar fight with a guy that's, 5'3", or do you want to get into a bar fight and have somebody, in other words, like on your side? Do you want somebody that's like about this tall right next to you, or do you want some guy that's like 7'3" and weighs about 460 pounds who's going to wring your neck with his little
Chris
pinky?
Robinson.
There you go, Chris Robinson, man. Don't ever mess with that guy, man. That guy's a cowboy, brother.
I saw him slam one of our friends. I tell you,
I'm so impressed with that guy. That guy is like 100% freaking gentleman, man. They don't make him like that guy anymore. They just don't, man. I'm sorry. I used to live in Colorado, by the way. And let me tell you, I've met a lot of cowboys in my life, man. And that guy is just, he's top drawer, man. He just is. It's hard to work with him.
100%. Todd, I have a home event 7 minutes ago. I can tell you right now, Todd, that I have had an absolute blast. I can also tell you that this will not be our last time doing webinars, trainings, not the first, not the last. I completely honor your time. I appreciate you doing this because you know what? I took 4 pages of. Dude,
I can't believe it's 20 to 11.
Yeah, man, we've been rolling. Listen, when you love what you do, you don't pay attention.
I thought we were gonna talk for 30 minutes there.
Oh well, we did an hour and 30. But we went into overtime, and that's the beauty of our.
That's okay, man. That's what these are about.
I am not mad whatsoever. I saw people on here like, please don't. You know what's crazy? Retention is everything. Since we started, only 4 people have left or come in and out. So I mean, this is an amazing, amazing, amazing training. Probably one of the better of all the chalkboard sessions, and that's what it's about. Cool, laid back environment, interview/training. And Todd, I appreciate you taking time out of your Wednesday night. This was absolutely unbelievable. And I will see you at the top right there with you, my friend. Guys, thank you for jumping on here and taking some time out of your Wednesday night. We know you're busy, but you know what? Like Todd said, you've got to be really all in. In order for people to follow you, in order for people to come back, you got to be really there. You got to show up. You got to be passionate. You look at this guy. I look at Todd and say, you know what? I feel great about where I'm at, and I feel even better about where I'm going to be 25 years down the road. And Todd, once again, man, I admire you, appreciate you, and let's crush it, bro.
Sounds good, brother. Hey, listen, it's an honor to be on here with you, man. And I really do appreciate you, and I appreciate your team. I appreciate the company we're working with and all the leaders. And again, man, I'm really grateful that you asked me to be on here today.
Couldn't be more grateful myself. Guys, thank you. Have a great night. Todd, you too, man.
Thanks, brother. Take care, everybody. Go get rich.
Let's do it.